So next topic is the black box testing, in which we have to consider the behavior of the system. That means we only apply the input value and check how the system behaves according to the input. So basically, the black box testing is used to demonstrate that the software functions are operational or not, means it execute or not. The name suggests the black box is the type of testing in which we does not consideration of the internal code of the particular program. So basically we have to check the behavior and only we have to apply the n number of input value on the given product and check whether it gives the accurate result or not. So the basically the black box testing, which is focus the fundamental accept of the system without any concern for the internal logical structure, means we cannot interfere in the code. We only refer the actual application and execute the code. For example, consider the WhatsApp application. We only apply the n number of input value. In previously, the WhatsApp does not share the every type of files, but now it is share the each and every type of file from one phone to another phone. So this is the type of behavioral testing, means we have to check whether the PDF file is shared with the WhatsApp or not. So this is the example we have to consider. So next, the black box testing is to be uncovered with the different errors or the types of error. For example, we have to interact and find out the missing functions. Then we have to check the interface error. Then the external data structure we have to check with the help of black box testing. Then we have to check the performance error, means how the system perform when we apply the different input value. Then initialize and termination error we have to check with the help of black box testing. So basically this is all the advantages regarding to the black box testing. Then all the independent path within the module we cannot test with the help of black box testing. This is the disadvantage. The logical decision along with the true and false sides we cannot test because we cannot see in the internal logic or the source code in detail, so we cannot check the logical decision. So every loop and all the loops we cannot check, and every boundary value we cannot check in the particular black box testing. The internal data structure cannot be verified. So this is the disadvantage of black box testing. So next we study the different types of black box testing. First one is a requirement based testing. Second one is a boundary value analysis. And last one is a equivalent partitioning. So first we have to discuss about the requirement based analysis. So basically this approach of the testing, in which we have to consider the test cases are designed using the complete and the consistent set of the requirements. Means we have to consider each and every requirement which is specified in the SRS, system requirement specification, through which we have to prepare the test plan and the test cases. And this is the testing technique in which we have to revolve the or we have to consider the every requirement which is specified with the help of end user or which is mentioned by the end user. So basically the strategy of the requirement based testing is to be integrate testing throughout the life cycle of the software development process to ensure the quality of the requirement specification, means we have to consider the SRS. So how to perform the requirement based testing? So there is a n number of steps to consider here. So the first step, in which we have to define the test complete criteria. Define the test completion criteria. So basically the test completion criteria means whenever we need to be stop the testing process, all the parameter we have to mention here, the testing should be defined in the quantifiable terms means we can consider the goal is considered is to be achieved only when the test coverage is 100%. Means test coverage is 100% means each and every test cases are executed and it gives the pass status. Means each and every input value is executed successfully. That means the it having the 100% test coverage. So second step is design the test case. So basically the test cases must be accordance with the requirement specification or according to the requirement specification which is defined by the end user or the which is mentioned by the developer. Next one is a build test cases. So basically in this we have to join the logical path together to form and build the test cases. Means we have to consider the integration testing. Means we can create a logical path between the test. For example, if we check the first module and then we have to check the another module individually. After that we need to be mention the test cases for the interface between that two modules. So then we consider the logical path here. So fourth step is execute the test cases. So basically the execute the individual test cases in the given program. Then we can check the verify the test result. Verify the test result. So in which we can check whether the particular result which matches with the expected result or not. Next one is a verify the test coverage. Means 100% coverage is there or not. We can check the for the functional test coverage. Means each and every test cases get satisfied or not. We can verify with the help of test coverage parameter. And last step is the manage the test library. Basically, the test manager is responsible for monitoring the test case execution. So he observes that how many test cases are passed and how many test cases are failed to for check whether the particular product is successfully perform or not. All the things we have to consider in the particular requirement based testing. So there is a requirement based matrix is used for preparing the requirement based testing. Requirement test matrix. Which is also called as a requirements traceability matrix. Means we have to check or we have to trace each and every requirement which is mentioned in the SRS is completely executed or not, or completely achieved or not. So basically the requirement are tracked by the requirement traceable matrix. So basically the requirement traceable matrix trace all the requirement from the design and development of the testing procedure. So traceability matrix is typically worksheet that contain the requirement with all the possible test cases or all the possible test scenarios we have to consider, and through which we have to mention the traceability matrix here. So the n number of parameter we have to consider for the traceability matrix. First one is the requirement ID. So each and every requirement having the unique identification number to measure the or to identify the requirement. Next one is a requirement type and its description. Means the meaning of that requirement is mentioned here. Next one is a test case regarding to that requirement. And last one is a test case
status means the particular requirement is executed or it returns the pass status or the fail. Pass means when we apply the input value, it gives the expected result. That means the test case considered as a pass status. And if it is not matches with the expected result, that it gives the fail status here. This is the parameter we have to refer for the traceability matrix. So with the help of this, we have to 100% code coverage is there, because we in that we have to test each and every requirement. This is the advantage of the requirement traceability matrix. So basically it highlights any requirement which is missing in the documents, so we can easily recognize that. This is also advantages of requirement traceability matrix. It helps to analyze and eliminating the impact of the quality assurance team. Work with the respective revisiting or the working on the particular test cases. So basically it gives the advantage to the particular quality assurance team to maintain the quality of your product. This is the concept of traceability matrix. Next one is the boundary value analysis. Next type of black box testing is boundary value analysis. So basically the boundary value analysis is check the boundary of the condition. That means the boundary value analysis is the type of testing technique in which we have to check the element at the edge of the domain which selected to test. For example, the integer d with the input conditions -2, 10. The test value is -2, 10, 11, -1 and 0. Means we have to check the boundary value for the expected input value. Okay. What is the boundary value of -2 is -1. This is the boundary value for checking whether the particular input value of the given product. So next example is we have to consider the combination, means we have to check the valid and invalid partitioning here. So basically it is the simplest view of the software testing is to divide its word into the two parts, data and the particular program. So basically the data is the keyword input, mouse click, disk file, printout, etc. And the program is to be executed, the flow, transition, logic and computation of given program. So basically we can consider the boundary value analysis. Suppose we have the tool at the office which accept the valid username and the password field, which is work on the particular tool. So we can consider the example minimum 8 character and the maximum 12 character password is required for the login the user ID. Okay. So minimum 8 character and maximum 12 character here. So valid range is 8 to 12. This is your valid range. And invalid range is 7 or less than 7. Means 7 or less than 7. And invalid range is also 13 and greater than 13. So in this case, we have to check the boundaries of that input value here. Okay. So we can write the test cases for the valid partitioning, and also we can design the test cases for the invalid partitioning. So first we have to create a test cases. So consider the password length which is less than 8. This is the first case we have to check. Next one is a consider the password which is length which is exactly 8. 8. Then in between 9 to 11, exactly 12, and greater than 12. Means we have to check for the valid input, and we will again prepare the test cases for the invalid input value. So basically the best way to describe the boundary condition testing is the uh, explained by the above example. So basically, the software can be operate on the edge of the capability. It always consider the invalid and the valid partitioning, or the invalid input value and valid input value. So this is the concept of the boundary value analysis through which we have to prepare the black box testing here.